Does this scene look familiar to you? It should, because my fans came in early. So then you're probably asking again, why are you f***ing around with your AIO? And the reason why is because these fans don't work. These fans, the Corsair LL 120s, are not high pressure static or high static pressure fans. So again, I'm going to go into the reasonings why, but I am going to get these prepped and returned, but we'll return to this video tomorrow or maybe tonight, depending on how frustrated I am, and explain at least the difference between regular case fans and these new fancy schmancy high static pressure fans and what the benefits are. So I'm going to do a little bit of research and basically try to get a video that's focused around that. Just so if anyone else is wondering or building their computer, they don't have to do this. This is just me. Up, but it's all good. So I just got back from returning the fans. And yeah, so let's get into what the difference is between static or high static pressure fans and normal fans. So normal fans, like you see here, like the LL120 from Corsair, are airflow fans. They just make sure that they get as much air into the case as possible. These are great if you don't have any impedance, and I think it should work for case meshes. Like, there's going to make some case meshes because they're like pretty standard for cases these days, but I don't think that they're going to have issues in terms of trying to pull air through because of those meshes. Where it really becomes an issue is when you start getting into things like the radiator. So like right there. Because there's that block and there's a lot of channels and it's going to be hard to push air through it, you need something that will be able to handle that impedance. And yeah, and that's where the high static pressure fans come through. So they're able to deal with that sort of blockage and push air through in a manner that will push it out in a more effective manner. Wow, that was a really terrible explanation. But the other reason why that's important is because with these airflow fans, if you just use them, which initially I was going to do, and they're not exhausting air or bringing in air fast enough, they will spin faster. And if they spin faster, that means that they're louder. So high static pressure can deal with that better. That means that they will be less loud and they'll be able to push that air without having to get as high in speed. While with the airflow, it's most likely just going to be that high speed and get over, I think from what I've read, like a lot of people get 2000 revolutions, and that's kind of too much. So what will happen there, or the reason why the high static pressure fans are a little bit more expensive is because they deal with that issue. So if we get into what I'm going to do to resolve this issue, is I'm going to still stay with the Corsair. Again, I'm not waiting for any pre-order, but the fans will now come sometime, probably time like Wednesday or Thursday, so my build will be delayed until then. And the reason why this is important is because this radiator is obviously attached to my AIO. And obviously if my AIO is not running and doesn't have fans, it's going to overheat the CPU, and then that thing breaks and I don't want to pay for that. So while I may have the other fans set up that are airflow, and those will cool the air in the case, there will be no way to effectively push all that hot air out. While there will be natural hot air rising, it won't get pushed out in an efficient manner, and I may have some thermal issues. Let's see, what else do I need to say? Oh, so those Corsair fans I picked were the ML Pro 120s. And the difference between those are, again, these are high static pressure fans, but they're also a magnetic levitation. That's what the ML stands for. What that means is something completely different. That is just their technology of being able to use a magnetic bearing to keep the fan off of the actual bearing itself, I believe, or make a little gap using magnets and being able to make that fan spin with less noise as well as faster. in a more efficient manner. So that is something that's one of their top fans, and it's a little bit more pricey than the other one. Than the LLs. I think they come in like around 120, 120 or 130 for the 3-pack, while I was getting the LLs for about 90. So a little premium, but obviously it's their better fan and it'll be fine. So hopefully the combination of the LLs and the MLs will get me what I need for my case. So outside of that, the other question comes into, do I need all these fans? Well, yes, I need the radiator fans, obviously. And because we were just really aggressive on cleaning up our house for guests, I threw away the other fans. I could have rolled with those initially. Like, again, if I stayed with my initial design of just using those fans, not really caring about RGB, and then just putting up there, this build would already be done. But in my like panic of making sure everything is right and me doing over research and under research, I decided to switch my radiators around and, like, you know, throw my whole blueprint out of the window. So those fans were lost to the trash early. So I needed new fans. Again, LLs won't work with that, and I learned that just recently. So I'm going to the MLs. But again, I have 9 fans in this. Is that overkill? Probably. Probably don't need that. However, I do want to make sure that there is a positive pressure inside the case. And the reason why that is because I want to make sure that the case is not just pulling air from anywhere. Because if it's negatively pressured, like there's more air coming out or going out than coming in, that means that the case will just suck air from wherever it can. Because if it's negative pressure, that means it's just trying to bring things into the case and push it out. Because if there's so much exhaust happening, that means that exhaust is just trying to pull from the case, and that case is going to pull from any which direction. However, if you have positive pressure, meaning you have more air coming in than you do have going out, then that means that the areas where you're having intake, so right now for me it's the bottom of the case and the side of the case, if there's more air coming in, it's more directed. It says that the air is coming from the 2 dedicated places that you have identified, and then the exhaust is still pushing things out, but at a lesser rate, meaning that there's going to be a positive cool airflow in the case, while it is exhausting at a lower rate because there's less fans handling it. There's also an impedance, so that there won't be an excess of exhaust coming out, and the cool air is able to stay in there. Again, hot air rises naturally, so that stuff will move up, and the fans will help assist that air and help that cycle going. But positive pressure is good, especially for a case build. And I think Jay's 2 cents helped me understand that concept in a better light. So again, I was a little bit concerned. Maybe I just needed to simplify my build, but yeah, that's the big thing. So as I was talking about it more, or as I started to evaluate other things here and I was starting to build things in, what you'll notice here is that I started putting in the cables. Cable management is going to be an issue for me. I mean, I'm working on it right now, but even with this big case, the back here, to keep this front side clean up here, this back side takes some space consideration. So I'm trying to work on it as much as I can to make it look clean. Chances are I'm not. And the reason why is because my choice to do RGB at this level, again, people have done way more crazy crap, but they do require some converters, or they do require some hubs. So if we look into here, there are 2 USB 2 ports here, and I need them for various reasons. So I need them for the controller Pro Plus. I need them for my Wi-Fi Bluetooth card. I need them for what else? What's that one? Oh, I also need it for my AIO. Duh. So there's 3 there. So that's 1 extra, and I think there might be another reason why I might need another one. So right now I'm kind of SOL because I only have 2. So the way that I've resolved that is I've bought 2 different versions. I've brought the NZXT internal hub, which is the first thing I bought. However, I may return it because it may be too big for this case, and I may not be able to have a place for it based off all the cords I see in the back. So I bought a smaller, like a little bit more jank looking one off Amazon, but it's cheaper. So it's like, I think it's like $10 for a 4-port. So I'm going to try that to see if that works, and if it ends up working, you'll see that in the final build. But that's one way I'm getting around the USB issues. Okay, so as we go from there, the other thing that I've noticed about this case is that it has 2 different areas for USBs and front panels. So this front panel here uses a 20 pin. This front panel down here also uses a 20 pin. So this computer only has one 20 pin, or this case or motherboard, sorry, has only one 20 pin. And as a result, I can't plug in both front panel pieces. Again, this one takes priority, so I'm putting that into the motherboard right now. However, as a result of the limitation and my desire for everything in this case to work, I did buy a converter, and that converter is essentially that 20 pin connector that will go into one of these USB ports. So not the USB 2.0 ports on the motherboard, but these ones here. So I'm currently using these, for a couple SATA drives and some other pieces in the build, but basically that converter will plug into here and it'll be a 20 pin and it'll be able to activate those USBs on the bottom. Hopefully that works. It seems like it should. I have plenty of those left over, so there shouldn't be any issues even if I need more of them. But yeah, motherboard consideration was something I did not consider when I was going into this. I knew what components I needed, and I thought it was more to the side of, oh, I just need the components. I need to figure out which ones will work the best. But doing this build is very eye-opening because I'm learning about the considerations for everything, especially as you go towards things like as you do things like RGB or anything more complicated with a lot of peripherals. You need to really consider what's on that motherboard. And again, while I did want to keep the motherboard at a cheaper price point, but still something that's expandable, I could see how I might have been able to splurge a little bit more to get some of those ports in there natively, and that might make my cable management a little bit more clean. So yeah, like you can see, like already on the bottom, there is a lot of black cabling, which I don't like, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to make that cleaner. And there might not be a way, but I'll think about it. But again, the cable mod stuff is helping us a lot here on the top. I'm really hoping that kind of just blocks itself out. So we'll see what happens. But the build is evolving. I'm learning along the way. It's not something that I'm a professional at, but doing the research is quite eye-opening, and I think it's making me understand and appreciate the process a lot more. I think before, I was just trying to go real cheap, and I didn't really have anything fancy. Like, I didn't really care about the computer looking good. I wanted the computer to function because I needed something to work. But now, this time that I'm thinking about aesthetics and I'm thinking about, you know, some of these more complex components that I didn't do before, like RGB, there's just a lot of things that I probably could have done better, but I'm going to find ways around it without trying to overextend myself on budget or like buy a motherboard again. So that's kind of the status update on it. So just a reminder that those fans will probably be coming in on Wednesday. I'm getting the converters and everything else on Monday and Tuesday, so hopefully I can get those prepped and we can get this build going. In the interim, I'm basically just working on cable management, and the drives are in. So what I really want to do is, once those fans come through, is just try to test everything, because the biggest thing that's going to be there is, can I hot swap that hard drive and activate Windows without buying another Windows? And I think from Jay's 2 cents, we can. So yeah, he's been super helpful in terms of figuring out some of these workarounds, so definitely check out his channel. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with anything else that might come up, but I think that should top it off, and that should be all of the design changes that will be happening to this. But yes, expect a video next week, Friday or Saturday. Yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping this up. But anyway, I know I've been rambling a little bit, but thank you guys for staying tuned. And I'm sorry for all this handheld video stuff, but I just didn't want to set up all my mics and cameras for something so informal. And I think that this helps me get videos out faster and more towards you, and hopefully it's a little bit more personal because I'm not so formal. I don't think about my shots as much. I'm just talking to you guys just as a friend. So yeah, if you tell me if you like this stuff, If not, I'll stop doing it or I'll do it less often. But for this purpose, I feel like it's the best way to do this. Anyway, I thank you guys for being patient with me. Again, I'm not as patient with me, but thank you. I appreciate all the engagement and stuff like that you guys have been giving me. And hopefully talk to you soon. As always, if you like what you're seeing, please stay tuned. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the things that you normally do on a video that you like and love. And I'll see you very, very soon. Appreciate you.